are talking the Poltergeist Diaries. And this one is written and directed by Joseph Galali. And I probably butchered that. And he directed a movie called Spirits in the Dark, which I had previously reviewed here on the channel. And that was a low budget found footage movie. This is another one. So, the Poltergeist Diaries, what is the story here? Well, essentially we have two timelines. We have the kind of the modern timeline where we have interviews with people connected to this particular guy who has gone missing. And then we have the story showing you this guy who goes missing, him buying this kind of like property out in the middle of nowhere, and it being pretty run down, and well, there seems to be a presence there, and then interspersed with interviews with various kind of friends and family members discussing maybe what has happened. Now, when this guy buys this property, he may not be alone. There may be a dark spirit residing there. What will happen? You have to watch the movie and find out. So let's talk about first of all what works here. Now, this is a low-budget found footage movie, and the director Joseph Galali's previous movie that I reviewed was kind of has a lot of the same issues I think this movie does. So I think the thing here is it's actually shot quite well for a found footage movie, maybe too well, and that was again one of the critiques I had with Spirits in the Dark. But nonetheless, it's shot well in the fact that you can kind of follow what's kind of going on. It's never kind of too much kind of shaky cam things like this, and well, you know, it almost feels more like a traditional camera angle some of the times rather than kind of found footage. But nonetheless, I do think the director has an eye for cinematography. He loves an establishing shot, and there are certainly some eerie sequences in here. There's a sequence where we have this room where there's like a mannequin and kind of children's toys and stuff. And there are some sequences where I do feel this kind of movie, you know, works well in having kind of a spooky kind of atmosphere. Despite its low budget, it does have a couple of spooky and scary moments in it, I thought. And it's like, again, this kind of goes back to, I think, the director having a pretty good eye for what makes a somewhat of a cinematic shot. And the story here is a little bit more interesting than the kind of his previous movie that I directed, because as I say, there's a little bit more kind of narrative in regards to what actually kind of happens, and having these kind of two timelines gives the movie a little bit of a break sometimes, and it kind of is a little bit better paced because of it. The movie is still quite short, but it's interspersed with these kind of interviews. It kind of adds kind of a little bit of you know, change of kind of pace to the kind of the flow of the film, which I think does benefit it and kind of gives it a little bit more, you know, more sort of characters that are involved, more faces. One of which is Eric Roberts. Which transitions into me what I think doesn't work. I think the problem with this film is its kind of illusion of it being a real found footage movie. For a start, you've got Eric Roberts in it, playing a character, and obviously we know it's Eric Roberts, so kind of, I think with found footage movies, the best idea is not to have a recognisable kind of, you know, named actor in it. But there you go. But the other thing is here, obviously this is not the director, the cast are not English speaking as their native tongue. But there's scenes here, for example, where we're going to believe two brothers who are maybe Norwegian or somewhere, not quite sure where this guy's from, but they're speaking English to each other, and they're both Norwegian, and there's no one else around. Like, why would you be speaking English and when there's no one else around? Why wouldn't you speak your native tongue? So the kind of the illusion of having a kind of a realistic found footage movie is just shattered. And there's so many examples in this movie where it's just like there's no real reason for filming, and kind of like the conceit for having these filmed you know, sequences of just two brothers sitting talking, it's just not there. And also there's a lot of sequences where the kind of like the guy who's bought the house is on his own, so he's kind of talking to himself, and it seems very contrived. It's very kind of like low budget, low tech. It's not much in regards to kind of like effects and stuff, and ultimately becomes, you know, it's pretty much still saved up for the end, and ultimately is a little bit unfulfilling. It's not a bad effort. I'll give this one a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.